Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on my program. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you are joining me from any part of the world, I thank you very much for your contributions on this channel. Please kindly subscribe if you have not subscribed, and also click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. In this channel, I bring information to your doorstep. I bring news from all channels, from every angle. Things that have to do about the world, things that have to do about Africa, more especially Nigeria. I bring it to your doorstep. Some informations that you ignore, some information that you cannot be able to come across, I look for them, I bring it to your doorstep for you to see. Every video you see on this channel is for educational purpose, to keep you up and get you aware of what is happening in the contraction called Nigeria, more especially. I bring the information to your doorstep. They are not lies. Most of the videos you're going to watch here are videos that are coming from the conventional media, and some of us sometimes are lazy to get into it. Some of us sometimes are too busy to be able to lay our hand on this. That is why I bring the videos to your doorstep. Watch from beginning to the end. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes, so that you can be educated and know what is going on. Let us watch together. At the end, you can go to the comment section and put down your comment. Give your opinion. Say it the way you feel it. Nobody's going to come against you. It's a free world, and this is the social media where people say it and set the record straight exactly the way it is without being controlled. Do that on the comment section. Let us watch the video together as it comes. Thank you.
The spokesman of the All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Council, Festus Keyamo, on Wednesday responded to social media claims alleging that the All Progressives Congress flag bearer, Bola Amed Tinubu, forfeited funds linked to drug trafficking in his bank accounts to the United States government, stating that the funds were tax deductions and not drug proceeds. Well, on Tuesday, social media was awash with what appeared to be certified true copies of a settlement order issued by a U.S. court in Illinois regarding forfeiture of funds in some bank accounts linked to Tinubu. Well, according to the court documents, there were probable cause to believe that the funds in the bank accounts were proceeds of narcotics trafficking. Keyamo, while speaking during a live television interview, said that Tinubu was not sued or indicted on any charge. The spokesman of the APC presidential campaign, Bayo Ononuga, has also weighed in on the allegations. He described the documents in circulation as a campaign of calumny, adding that muckrakers are back in business. Well, let's take some tweets. Well, this is from Ayomide, who wrote, Tinubu was an employee treasurer who earned $2,400 monthly, but he had 10 accounts in 3 banks with over $2 million in them. How did he make the money? That's the question that they have not always answered. Well, journalist David Hundeyin wrote, he actually called Festus Keyamo a despicable liar for defending the documents and challenged him to a discussion, stating, in quote, "You cannot lie like this in 2022. I will destroy you in less than 7 minutes if you agree to discuss the story with me on any television station of your choice. This is an open challenge." Well, Emmanuel wrote, "You can never be convicted of drug offense in the United States and settle it with forfeiture. Never. It would have been jail straight for Tinubu if truly he was convicted of narcotics dealing. The United States don't joke with drug offense. Hence, I am convinced that Tinubu was not convicted of a drug offense." Dr. Bati, while I catch my breath, over to you for your comments on this story.
Well, you see, the thing about politics is that if you go into politics, you must be ready to hear the story of how your mother met your father.
You always say that.
And how, you were conceived. In fact, some may even doubt your paternity. Yeah. It's the nature of politics, either in Nigeria or elsewhere. In the case of Asiwaju Bola Amed Tinubu, all of these stories are not new. Since he became governor of Lagos State in 1999, all of these stories have been in the public domain. And that's why Mr. Bayo Ononuga said the muckrakers are back in business, because it's an old story. Okay? Keyamo's defense is that if you look at paragraph 38 of the same, document that you put out there, I think that's an affidavit, right?
Yes.
It's an affidavit, which is also something that people should be very careful about. He said if you look at paragraph 38, the document talks about tax, that these are tax deductions. and that the processes are mere, speculations. So what do you expect? The APC is bound to respond. But as a person, Asorock Bola Amed Tinubu has been dealing with all these allegations since 1999. And, it's not been taken to task anywhere, to the best of my knowledge, in this regard. But in political seasons, yes, every mud will be thrown at you from whatever direction, just to discredit your candidate, just to malign you, lower your integrity in the estimation of right-thinking members of a society. That's just about that,
Well, Rufai, I kind of agree with my last Twitter user there. I mean, I'm not in the FBI, but I feel like, drug trafficking is a huge offense. And, for you to be charged with that and then forfeit, I believe it was $490,000 of your money, in exchange for jail term is quite unheard of. I don't know if you've heard of anything like that before.
The first question I should ask is, was there a forfeiture? Yes. When did it happen? It happened a couple of years ago in America. This issue has been on for some time now. It's political season, everything will come out. But we should also introspect deeper.
Yes.
Because you see, the question here is about character of people that want to lead our country. And it has to be said. And that's why when any candidate has this, they must come to explain beyond reasonable doubt.
That's
somebody asked a
point.
question in your tweet that how does somebody that was earning $2,400 a month earn all that money? I think there's some explanation that needs to be done with documents. Because yes, these things come out during election season. But people come out with documents to explain. That's why I want the APC, apart from the explanation of, Mr. Keyamo that I felt was quite condescending on the journalist, saying, I want to school you, pick a pen and paper. I think that's wrong. I think people should not do that. It's a critical matter on ground. And when people ask questions, you supply them with answers as much as you can. So apart from that, I think they should also get more people to come explain all of this. Because it's constantly about a character question. And people have asked, even what's the name of the candidate? Who is this candidate? What school did he attend? And the likes. Because all of these issues also came up when he was governor. And you remember how the National Assembly had to settle that this same Festus Keyamo, it was Festus Keyamo v. House of Assembly in Lagos. He was the one that took then the National Assembly, the House of Assembly and Bola Tinubu to court then about another case, the veracity of the university he went to. He was the one. So he's been on the opposing side. Now he's been on this side now, because of politics and interest change. But we should interrogate further, and I think a lot more explanation needs to be made. Yeah, if he says he's not been indicted, let's come up with more explanation. Let's come up with more documents. Let's be able to look at this, and let's also follow the money trail. How can somebody that was earning a certain amount all of a sudden had 10 different accounts that had a lot of money? What was the association with other people mentioned in that case that may be related to this? So we need more documents, we need more explanation, because you see, my fear, debts like this for presidential candidates are critical. You know why? We've had scenarios where other countries in the world, that when they have debts like this on your presidential candidate, they use to hold your country to hostage. Yeah. And we should be careful. You remember how America treated, Nicaragua with Noriega? So we need to investigate, and this should be proven beyond reasonable doubt. So a lot more explanation needs to be done, and we need to see documents as regards it to explain all of this for us.
Well, all right, Rufai.
Let me get back to the conversation. And the question that a lot of Nigerians would like you to answer tonight, and perhaps they probably would have wanted to even hear directly from the man in question, your presidential candidate, Bola Amed Tinubu. But there's a fundamental question on the source of the money he deposited, of which he reached a settlement. Has he given a satisfactory explanation of the source of the funds?
Well, thank you so much. Now, at that point, the burden was on the prosecution in the U.S., or from the states in the U.S., to prove that the funds were proceeds of narcotics. Now, that is, if you look at paragraph, I want you to go to paragraph 2 of the affidavit of Kevin Moss. He kept saying that it was his reasonable suspicion. It was like probable cause, probable belief. It was speculative. All it was speculative. They had not come to a definite conclusion. Let me tell you what happened. Now, if you see the whole gamut of that affidavit, it was more or less like, well, you know, it happens to all of us, Nigerians. You go to a new land, you go to a new place abroad, any Nigerian you see, especially from your own tribe, they become like brothers to you. You associate with them, you visit them. You may do 1 or 2 transactions. You may not exactly know what they are involved in. You may not know what they are involved in. It happens to all of us. And you can see that the whole of that investigation actually touched on 2 or 3 Nigerians. So let me admit that. That had nothing to do with Asiwaju. And I don't want to mention their names here. People should go and read about it because they have families in Nigeria. The other Nigerians, two of them, who were actually linked to narcotics. One of them was actually arrested. That one made confessional statements and confessed another Nigerian as the one involved. But that principal suspect, read that affidavit, never mentioned the name of Asiwaju. What happened? Asiwaju went to open an account. The address by which he opened the account was an address already, you know, used by these people. I think some block of flats. Maybe he was happened to be in that block of flats too. So they now linked it to say, oh, well, these other people they were investigating for narcotics, they are in the same address used by Asiwaju to open that account. So that is what is there. I cannot deviate from it. They also said after I opened the account, after some time, I wanted to explain. Sorry, I wanted to explain. Can I go on?
Yeah, because he's in line. What I'm going to ask you is in line with what you are saying.
Yeah, so because I want to be honest.
Aware? Because the version of the story,
I want to be honest. That's why I'm going along with it and explain it.
Just a moment. Let me push the question so that you can put it together.
Yes.
The version of the story you're saying tonight, and for those who are a bit more privy to what really happened, there are allegations, and I don't know if you are aware, that your principal was a member of a drug cartel for which is said to, in fact, they say he was a treasurer. And I was asking you about the source because this is going to premise the question I'm going to ask next. So I'd like you to also be careful in the answer so that my next question might be favorably answered too. Go ahead, please.
Thank you so much. Please do not deviate from the affidavit. I want everybody to fact check the two of us. There was no, they never mentioned him as a treasurer. They said he was treasurer of Mobile. They never said he was treasurer of any narcotics group. What they said was that he was found to have worked for an organization, owned by the people they were investigating. That he worked for that organization, that distribution organization. He worked for them without going into details, without having any proof of it. I'm very careful about the phrase that was used in that affidavit by Kevin Moss. Because you see, with a trained eye and the trained eye of a prosecutor, I read every line one by one. I've done this more than 10 years ago and came to the conclusion that Asiwaju had nothing to do with this. Because I read this thing more than 10 years ago. So I read it with a trained eye. So that is the phrase. If a prosecutor is looking for something to nail him, you have to go to that particular paragraph that now links Asiwaju. After they went all the rigmarole of investigating those two individuals, Nigerian, they now came to the point of Asiwaju. They now came to the point that where they now found out that part of the friends, relatives, that's what they use, friends and relatives, who worked for that organization owned by these people was somebody known as Asiwaju. That is all, that Tinubu. That's how they came to that. That's how they came to link him. Normally, they do that as a sweeping investigation. Yeah. Let me explain to you, because as a prosecutor, you do that in a sweeping manner. When you are investigating a crime, anybody linked in terms of transfer of funds to and fro from the person's account to your account, as a standard procedure, they will investigate everybody who paid money into and withdrew money from that account. It's standard procedure. But after all of it, they will now
let me then push this here. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Senior Advocate, let me refer you to Section 137 of the Constitution 1D, subsection 1D, which says that a person under a sentence of imprisonment or fine for any offense involving dishonesty or fraud by whatever name it's called, or for any other offenses imposed on him by any court or tribunal shall not be qualified to contest for the office of the President of Nigeria. In view of the forfeiture and the settlement that Bola Tinubu had in the United States, as the senior advocate of Nigeria, what are the legal implications of that circumstance, considering the Section 137, subsection 1D of the Constitution?
Well, forfeiture is not a fine, I don't want to refer to you again. When I say I'm educating, this is like a class we are having. Well, I don't, for all those who think, for law students everywhere, who think forfeiture is a fine. Fine is a punishment. Fine is a consequence of a conviction. Fine is a consequence of a criminal trial. So fine has nothing to do with forfeiture. Forfeiture is a civil process. It's a complete civil process to say, well, we are not even going into trial at all. The state goes into forfeiture proceedings with individuals just for the purpose of getting their monies. It does not mean you have committed a crime. You may have not fulfilled your obligation as a citizen regarding financial payment, just like tax. You have, at that point, he had not fulfilled his financial obligations regarding the deposits that were made there and the interest on those deposits. And so they said, well, you know what? Out of these 10 accounts, we are going to take our interest. And you know, for them, tax is oil, is their oil. All over Europe and America, they don't play with their tax. So they also said, well, we are going to take our tax because you deposited money here, you were taking interest on it, you have not paid tax on those interests. So if you look at paragraph 38, that is the crux of the whole thing. So it is not, that concern you cited, Shehu, is completely, totally inapplicable. It has nothing to do with forfeiture. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing.
That's your perspective. But let me allow you.
No, that is the law. That is the law. It's not my perspective. That is the law.
That's your argument, and you
it's the law.
Debated on that. But let me allow you to listen. I mean, you can argue.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have been educated with this video. I hope you have learned something from the video you just watched. Please go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever you think about the video you have watched, or anything you have learned that you wanted to share together, go to the comment section and keep yourself busy. It's a free place where people share their opinion. And please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time a video comes out. And also, share the video to your family and friends. Share it to all platforms so that people can get aware of what is happening in the world, mainly in the contraption called Nigeria. We have to keep people on their toe, keep people informed on what is going on. That is exactly what we are doing. Every video you are watching in this channel is for the purpose of education and nothing more. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, bye-bye. See you again.